Welcome back to the GDC Project. My name is Timothy McGrath, and I'm your host. Well, technically today I'm your co-host because I'm sitting here with my niece, Sofia Cartagena, and she is going to be the host of the podcast today.
Yeah, I'm going to be the host of your podcast today because I'm the one interviewing my dearest Uncle Tim.
Okay. So we made an agreement last time that since I got to ask you so many questions, I told you could ask me questions, whatever you wanted. Just to give people context here of what the show is, it's tit for tat. I asked you, now you asked me. So start it however you want.
What are your hopes for the GDC project entirely?
So the hopes for the GDC project entirely is to limit families from suffering like we did. So the addiction crisis is a huge thing. It's the leading cause of death for people in my age group, 18 to 45. But good news is this year in 2025, really, we had like a 20% decrease in overdose deaths. So that's a good start to a huge problem. But my main goal is to help as many families as possible. So what we saw with your mom was she went to rehab 5 times maybe. I don't even remember.
5, 6 times?
Yeah, it was a lot of times.
Yeah.
But there was no really guidance of understanding what she was going through. For us, for Grammy, for you, for Pop, for me, for Auntie. Like, there was no guidance on how to handle that situation. What do we do for them? Who do we talk to? It was like, okay, get them to rehab. Then what? So the goal for the GDC project is to help families with the and then what? Like, what do we do now? How can we help her now? How can we support her now post rehab? Because all the science says if we get people to the 3 to 5 year mark, then they're less than 3 to 5 year mark, they're less than 15% chance to relapse. So the goal for the GDC is to get as many people as the 3 to 5 year mark by educating the families and educating the individuals on what the process of recovery looks like. It's difficult, it's hard, it's nuanced, but it is something that we can tackle as a community and as a family, not alone. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Do you have any other questions with that aspect, or?
Yes. It's more of, like you said, what's next, program. Would it bring more support for the families on their aspect of what can we do to help the individual, or on the individual side on what they can do for themselves?
Right now, we're still in the beginning stages.
Yes,
but the more we think about it and the more we talk, it's giving the help to the families. Because the individual, there is a ecosystem of help. There is detox, there is rehab, there is sober house. But then when we think about the families, there's just really Al-Anon. Now, what other resources do they have? Like, who did Grammy have to talk to? Who did, we have to talk to? There wasn't a real network of how can we, as a family, help the individual? What are the things we need to say? What are the things to expect? How should we approach this? And as a family, how did, you feel when your mom was going through it? Terrible. You're angry. You're upset. You're mad at them. You don't understand. Why can't they just figure it out? Doesn't she love me more than she loves drugs?
Yeah.
That's what you think. And you don't allow yourself to comprehend what they're going through or understand what they're going through. 1, because it's lack of knowledge, right? 2, I guess it would be the same thing. You don't understand what they're going through mentally, and you don't understand the process that they need to go through to heal. So that's really number 1 is okay, what do I need to learn to help them the best and take my emotions out of it? And what are the tactical steps that I need to progress and help them the best? Because addicts can't do it alone and families can't do it alone. It's we need to create the community and the information out there so each family could help, I don't want to say attack, could help their loved one fight the disease.
Okay, thank you. Coming away from the GDC project, when did you realize that like she was struggling?
Your mom?
Yeah.
So what's crazy about your mom is struggling isn't like I never. Let me back up here and think. Your mom always had an issue with addiction. Started with food. She would hide food, and that's really kind of where we noticed it. Is she would go in her bedroom and there'd be like Doritos bags all hidden in her room. And your mom got really heavy really young. And when you think about addiction, we always tend to think it's just drugs and alcohol. But it's anything that you don't have control over that's causing a negative impact on your life. So it could be thoughts, it could be things that you're doing, it could be things you're eating, it could be substance abuse. So it's a lot of things addiction can be. So what I would say we first noticed it was with food, essentially.
You said it started with food, and then would you notice that it would be, like, what did it progress to from food?
From food, I think it progressed to alcohol. But, like, this is where I get mad. Like, people ask me, do you get mad at your sister? I don't. I get mad at the system. So, and society, I guess. Because when we were younger, it was like, the cool thing to do is go out and get blackout drunk. Right? And me and your mom both really liked to get blackout drunk and have fun. And we had some of our greatest memories together. But then if we think about that definition of addiction, when you don't have control and when it creates a negative impact on your life, right? And we both saw that at really young ages and didn't realize it until it was a huge problem. Like, for me, it almost ended mine and Auntie Jen's marriage. For your mom, it transitioned to other things like substance abuse and pills and things like that. So I think alcohol was the first, like, one you're like, okay, she has a problem. Food, you're like, okay, you don't think of it as an addiction per se, because it's just, she's overweight. We don't know why she's overweight. And then you go to see the therapist and the doctors, and your mom used to go to fat camp and did a lot of things to help her weight gain. But I think it just, the food transitioned into alcohol, transitioned into pills. So it's almost like your mom lived her whole life
Like addicted to something.
battling different addictions. Yes.
You said that it was very popular for you guys to go to parties and get blackout drunk and stuff like that, which you see today in kids my age, even with smoking.
Yeah.
Like, there's multiple different, like, alarms and systems they put in the schools, but they never get caught. You never really realize it until it is too late.
And what's your question with that? You just see it? Or?
Yeah, I just see it. And I think it might kind of just be like a pattern, even.
What do you think? Why do you think it's a pattern? Why do you think a teenager would want to do that?
Because, like you said, it's very popular. It's very, oh, look at me, I'm cool because I'm smoking.
And what about the smoking makes you cool?
That everybody else is doing it.
Maybe it's rebellious.
Rebellious. It gets you friends. It gives you kind of like a sense of community, even. Like that drinking does. If you go out drinking with your friends, that's a community thing. If you go smoke with your friends, that's a community thing. But you never really find something that's positive, that's also like addicting and becoming a big community thing. It's mostly in negative and addictive substances.
You are 100% right. And if I think about it, when I stopped drinking, I lost a lot of my friends because I wasn't doing the community social thing. Like, we went out, almost every night of the week to go drink and have fun. And then once I stopped, it was like, okay, people stopped hanging out with me. I guess I wasn't cool or fun anymore, whatever it may be. So that is true. What's also true is these substances hijack our brain, right? So we're working against, it's rebellious, cool, I'm the cool kid. It gives us a sense of community. Then it hijacks our brain by working with our dopamine. That's our feel-good hormones.
Yeah.
So it's like, ooh, this is fun. This feels good. I'm being rebellious. I'm with all my friends. So everything's kind of feels good about it in the moment, but we don't realize the downstream effect negatively. And when you're in high school, like, you want to be the cool kid or hang out with the cool kids. And it's how do you, like you said, how do you find something that's healthy, but that it's also feels good and you build community? Thing is, I don't think you're going to be able to find that. I think you have to create that. Like, I think theater's cool. Theater could give you those feelings. You like theater, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's your community. On stage might cause you anxiety, but after you're done, what's that feeling you get?
You get a rush of dopamine. You feel amazing.
Yeah. So there is things that don't necessarily have to be negative. They could be positive. It's just like, I have to know what I want and search for that versus the alternative. Like, for me, when I felt like when I was in high school, like you said, it was a cool thing to smoke and drink, and I was more worried about the social aspect than like my health and well-being. Like, I didn't even think about that. You know, the fact that you're even thinking about that is huge, because I was just like, I want to be cool and have fun, not like, what is my future going to look like?
Yeah.
Like, I didn't do well in college or school because I was never, what is my future going to look like? What do I want to be? Like, what do I want to have in life? I never thought about that. It was always like, when's the next party? What are my friends doing? You know, what's the cool thing to do right now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, like, most kids don't realize how that'll affect, like, when they do stop it and, like, get serious and maybe even think about their future, they don't realize, oh, what if I get a DUI? Oh, what if I get caught with something? They never realize how that'll affect their future lives.
Yeah. I had friends growing up that got in trouble for stupid things, and they had like scholarships lined up that they lost. And friends die in DUIs. A couple friends died in DUIs when I was in high school, which is scary. You know, you're out drinking, partying, and then you drive, and then all of a sudden we're not around anymore. And it's very sad that happens. But like I said, that's why I blame society more than the individual. Like, why are we pushing alcohol? Why are we pushing vapes? Why are we pushing cigarettes? Why are we pushing marijuana as cool, fun substances? You know, we're pushing alcohol as a cool, fun substance. And it's dangerous.
Yeah. I mean, like, I know some people who are like my age and they're drinking, and I'm like, why are you doing this? It's stupid. Like, you're gonna get in trouble. A, because it's against the law, and B, you don't know how it'll affect your your body and like even your brain.
Well, we know how it affects our body and our brain. Alcohol is a toxin, number one. So when you drink it, your body immediately tries to fight it and break it down.
Right.
Okay? What it also does is shut down your hippocampus in your brain. Do you know what that's in charge of?
Like thinking?
Your memory.
Oh.
So it shuts down your memory. So that's why a lot of times when people drink, they forget, because it actually shuts down your hippocampus in your brain. So we can't remember, and our body's fighting off a toxin. And that's pretty scary to think about. How
did mom's addiction kind of affect you?
So your mom's addiction affecting me, I don't want to say that it didn't affect me, but I want to say it affects me more now than it did in the moment.
Yes.
I held a lot of anger towards your mother, a lot of resentment towards your mother, and I was always angry with her because you're in the space where, like, why can't you just understand what you have, like, what you have in your life? You have an amazing family. You have an amazing daughter. Like, you have a lot going for you. Why can't you just stop? And I would get angry with her. And then I would, I would try and help her. She would come to the gym when she was good, We would have conversations when she was good. And then when she was bad, your mom hated me. Like, I was the worst person in the world to her. And she would tell my friends, my clients at the gym, her friends, of how evil I was. So during that time period, I was not happy with your mom. Like, I told her, she, like you said last time, passing out in front of you. She did the same thing in front of Kinsley. So I had held a lot of anger towards her that I wish I didn't hold. I wish I held more compassion. I wish I was more empathetic. I wish I had more knowledge of how to help her or how to get the right people to help her because she wouldn't accept it from me. So I hold more resentment than anything currently, and have some regrets currently. But in the time, I like had anger towards her.
Mm. Yeah, and that's understandable.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even now, you said you're not mad at her.
No.
You're mad at like the system.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that if you had known the stuff you know now, not entirely, but just some things like how it affected the brain, how addiction affects people, do you think you would have been a little more sympathetic?
100%. But that's why we have this going now. It's like one of the things Grammy told me after your mom passed was your mom started therapy at like 5, and which I didn't know. And then she started anxiety medication at like 14. So I don't want to like go on a rant about anxiety medication, but at a very young age, your mother was introduced to medication, teaching her that that's going to cure me. At a very young age, 14, this is going to cure me. So that thought was put into your mom's mind at a very young age.
And I'm gonna add a little bit here.
Okay.
When she was 14, she was also going through all of her hormones, doing everything like that. She was changing
and she was
a
dealing
lot.
with her weight. That was a huge part of her life where she was very overweight. So there was like you said, there was a lot going on at that moment. And like you said, if I knew what I knew now, I would have tried alternative methods. And like, you don't want to blame the doctors or Graham. Like, that's just what the system was. The kids are feeling this. It's still like that today. Give them this pill. It's going to save them. Whether it's the Ritalin or the Adderall or the Xanax, this is going to save you. And that's the thought we're told.
But if you tell the child that and they have different problems going on, they're going to think, if I take more of this, it'll make it go away.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that's kind of where it would have started. Like her hormones, her weight, her feeling like depressed and like feeling stressed because of like high school, 8th grade high school. Those are very like hard times.
Yeah.
And like things around her changing, and like even finding new groups or not being as popular in high school, that would affect her to have more anxiety, being thinking, oh, I have this. I could take this. The doctor said it'll make me better. My parents said it'll make me better. I believe them. This is what I should take. I'll be better. And when it's not enough, you start to take more and more and more.
Yeah. And that's the scary part. So, like we talk about, like you asked, if I know what I know now, it's more of a like world approach. Like, okay, you're anxious. Now it's like, okay, what are you anxious about? Versus here. Okay, I'm anxious about my friends. I'm anxious about going through puberty. I'm anxious about my weight. Okay. Let's maybe fix your weight. Let's figure out what's going on with puberty. Let's help you make new friends, maybe get you in a social thing. So there's more of a holistic approach. There's also a lot more information now is like our gut microbiome, the bacteria we have in our belly, affects our mind. So how can we change the bacteria we have in our belly to assist with our thoughts? How do we regulate our thoughts? Like there's this Dr. Daniel Amen. He calls them automatic negative thoughts. We have them. They come in thousands and thousands and thousands an hour. It's a survival mechanism. So if we know that, okay, we have these negative thoughts, how do I take them? How do I work through them? And how do I turn them into a positive? And learning those techniques and skills more than just saying, hey, here's this pill. If this doesn't work, I'll give you another pill.
Yeah.
And like I know some people need pills, but I don't think that should be the first attempt to solving a problem.
Exactly. I also believe in that. I believe, okay, if you're going through this, let's find everything else before we can get you to the pill.
Yeah, you break your arm, my shoulder. It's like, okay, I'm going to try everything I can not to have surgery. And then if I need surgery, I'm going to get it. But I'm going to do everything in my power not to get surgery. I think we need to approach a lot of aspects of health like that first. Of course, unless it's an acute, terrible injury, then you need to figure it out.
Exactly. Are there any, like, specific symbols or anything that remind you of her?
Your mom?
Yeah.
So...
Obviously, there's, like, the butterfly. The butterfly's a big thing.
The butterfly.
Broken glass, maybe.
Broken glass. Pots. No. I mean, there's a lot that reminds me of your mom. It's not more like symbols. It's more of things that, like, happen. Like we have all the Gabriella things.
Gabriella moments.
Yeah, when people are staring at someone during the dinner. And, like, there's... Some of her behaviors are more the symbols than an actual symbol. And, like, things that happen. You know what, like, deja vu is?
Yeah.
Yeah, like, things that happen. I remember Gabriella did that. I remember when Gabriella did that. You know, walking through CVS in Newfield, one time your mom was wearing high heels and she fell because she was wearing the high heels. Like I remember, like, where the aisle was. And, like, when I walked through there, like, I remember that and I smile. So it's not like there's a specific symbol. It's just a lot of moments that come up that I remember more than a symbol.
Straying away from mom and everything, what are some of your, like, strengths or weaknesses?
My strengths and weaknesses. Can I start with my weaknesses?
Sure, go ahead.
My weakness is making excuses for my ADD. My brain is all over the place all the time, and I get distracted very easily and switch what I'm doing very easily. So I have a hard time staying focused on a singular topic. If anyone's followed me on social media for a while, you'll see that trend where I'm doing something and then I'm gone. Doing something, gone. I think that's my biggest weakness. And a good frame, this is from Auntie Jen, you shouldn't call it a weakness. You should call it for an area of improvement. Right? It's an area we could get better. I just thought of that in my head. My biggest strength, I think, would be adaptability or ability to change. So if you could see, they're like the same thing.
Yeah.
I could figure out or do anything. And I think that's one of my biggest strengths. And now that I'm older, it's like I like to continually learn. So if I need to do something, I like to learn how to do it. And I think that's one of my biggest strengths now. What are your biggest strengths and areas of improvement?
Areas of improvement. My areas of improvement are I need to learn how to talk louder because, like, I need to learn how to speak up for myself more because usually I, like, give little suggestions and then I just don't talk about it anymore. I also need to focus on one thing at a time. I struggle a lot with being focused on one thing, and I'm bouncing around a lot. If I think of one thing and then it trails me off to another thing, I go, let me go do that other thing first so I can complete this thing, and it's a problem. Some of my strengths are I'm confident, I guess. I'm confident when I want to be.
Let's go back to the speak up thing. I want to press you on that. Give me a situation of where you feel like you gave a suggestion or you wanted to speak up and you didn't or couldn't.
Like my friends or people I'm normal with. Like if I'm talking to like an acquaintance or like sometimes like if I'm in like a class or something and I think of something that would be better, I'm like, okay, let me say this. Oh, but wait, I'm not comfortable with these people. I don't feel like I can say this. So I end up just like going quiet.
What if you approach it as a question versus a suggestion?
As a question, the same thing. I feel like either way, no matter how much I word it, I feel like it's going to come off bad. Like, say, we're deciding what color we want to paint the walls.
Okay.
Right, and I look at the room, and I'm like, this would be really, like, nice, or, like, pretty in, like, a light blue, like, a white, or, like, a gray. But, like, say Pop wants to paint it green. I don't know why you don't want to paint it green. He just wants to paint it green. And he's like, I'm going to paint this green. I was like, oh, but because of the room, it looked like better like this. Or like, would you ever think of doing this? And I feel like since it's like his space, but it's also kind of my space, I feel like I have less of an opinion than he does.
100%, number one, because it's his house.
It's his house.
He's paying for the paint and the painter. But you should never feel uncomfortable to speak your mind out of fear, right? Because no matter what you say today, no one's going to remember in a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. So you need to be able to speak, especially in a group of friends, how you feel. And if you're scared of saying a suggestion, always ask a question. Like you said, how do you think this wall would look green? I think it would look cool green. What do you think? No, I'm just saying in general.
Oh, just in general.
Or if you're, what are the chances? What are the chances you think we could paint this green? And it's more of an inquisitive than you projecting like, you should definitely paint that green. It's terrible, this color. Be like, oh, that would look really pretty green. What are the chances you'd go with a green? You know, and that's just with the Pop suggestion. But with your friends too, it's always better to ask a question so someone else feels like they came up with the idea. And that makes them feel special. And anytime you can make someone feel special, it creates a more significant relationship. Okay. So any conversation you want someone to feel special. And you do that by, what do people like to talk about the most? Themselves, right? So ask them questions about themselves, make them feel like they came up with the idea, and that'll always make someone feel special. And then you create a bond after guiding them to feel special. Do you understand what I'm saying with that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Any other questions before we get out of here? No? All right, guys. Well, thank you for listening to the GDC Project, where Sofia got to interview me as the main host today. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you do, please like, share, subscribe, comment on if you'd like to see us together again, or any questions you may have for me or Sofia, because I like her coming on here, and we're going to do this again, maybe a little bit of a different format, but we'll get after it. Well, thank you for coming on again. Appreciate you.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Ciao, ciao.
All right.